guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Y'all, today we are going to do some more easy, simple crafting with a purpose. Stay tuned. So welcome everyone. I really do appreciate your choosing to spend some of your crafty day with me. And today we are going to have so much fun. So as many of you know, we have been making some notepad holders. We've made the small ones, we've made the junior legal size ones, and today we're going to make a holder for those full-size legal pads. And it is going to be absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to hold this one up so that you can see. And isn't this absolutely stunning? And I am so in love with this paper. And you know what this paper is? It is wallpaper. And I just love the print on this. I'm going to show you the back so that you can see that it's gorgeous on the front and the back. So what I have in here is a full-size pad and then a replacement. And wouldn't you want to be the person carrying this around, writing your notes? It is so super simple to make. So y'all know what time it is. It is time to make it. All right, y'all, so to make our project, I will be using rolled paper on this project. I am going to hold up the SKU so that if you're interested in finding this paper, you can. I am not going to recommend the seller that I purchased it from on Amazon because I was very unhappy with that experience, but I will go ahead and give you the SKU and you might be able to find it. Make sure that when you are purchasing this, you check the comments because I did leave a comment. So you'll know if you see my comment, I personally will not be making any more purchases from that particular seller. So here are the chipboard pieces that we're going to need. I am using a medium weight chipboard, and I'll have a link in the description box for the chipboard that I use. But if you don't have chipboard and you want to make this project, please use whatever it is you have that you think you can make work for the project. So we're going to need one piece that measures 3/4 by 12, one piece that measures 8.5 by 5 7/8, and two pieces that measure 9 by 12. And then we'll be using some mats on this project. So I'll have two mats that measure 3.25 by 4.25 and two mats that measure 3.5 by 4.5. Then I have my inside pocket piece that measures 9 3/4 by 6. And I have two pieces that I'll be joining together for the inside liner, and these two pieces measure 10.5 by 11 3/4. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and start with our wallpaper, and I'm just going to cut off an amount that I think is going to work. Now for this project, I 100% recommend that you use some type of a rolled paper. It doesn't have to be wallpaper, it can be wrapping paper. Just use a rolled paper because the legal pads are so large that you will have a difficult time trying to join together 12 by 12 pieces to make your project work. And the way that you would have to join pieces, I don't think your project will look as good as I know you want it to look. So what I'm doing here is I am simply going to remove the backer. And now I'll take one of my 9 by 12 pieces and we're going to place it down. Now, even though this is a peel and stick wallpaper, what I have found is that it helps me if I go along the edges of my chipboard and lay down some tape, because sometimes at the edges when you do that fold over, you might get some bubbling that you can't get rid of. So I just go ahead and place down tape on the outer edges. So I am going to take this, place it down, then I'm going to use my spine piece, which is 3/4 inch by 12. I've also put tape on it. And I'm going to place that down, giving myself about 1/8 inch in spacing. Then I'll take my second 9 by 12 inch piece, peel away the tape that I put on the outer edges. I used a wide tape. You can use a 1/2 inch tape or 1 inch tape, completely up to you. And then we can take this piece, place it down, giving ourselves about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And now I'll use my finger blade to trim away that excess. And I am not going to throw away the excess you're about to see me removing, because we're going to use it on the legal pad. So I'm just going to take it and stick it to my desk. So now I'm going to flip this over. And I am going to use my big old spatula to make sure I have everything nice and stuck. And what a beautiful print that is. So now I'm just going to come in, and we need to miter those ends. And all we're doing when we miter is we are cutting out at an angle so that when we fold over, we have about 1/8 of an inch in paper or wallpaper between this piece and the corner of that chipboard. That just gives you a nice finish to your project. So now I can stand this up. We're going to fold it over. And now we can take this, stand it up, fold it over. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll just pull it and fold it over. Then I'm going to use my big old spatula just to go over and get this nice and stuck. And you're able to see what a beautiful, beautiful cover this is going to make. It is fabulous. I absolutely love it. So now we are going to bring in some tape, and I am going to place tape to cover that chipboard. Now you can see that I'm keeping the tape on the inside, and that's because I don't want to run too far to the edge in case I have cut my liner pieces a little bit short. I won't have tape, sticky tape sticking out. So all I'm doing is placing this down, just going all the way across. So then once I have my tape down, I'm just going to go ahead and peel away the backer, and then we're going to set this to the side because we need to do the liner pieces. So I'm just going to take this, move it out of the way, and bring in my liner pieces. Now when you cut these liner pieces, you're going to be cutting them at 10.5 by 11 3/4, and that's going to leave you with 2 strips. Make sure you save these because we're going to use them later in the project. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my tape, place my tape on the outer edge, and we're going to do this one sheet at a time. So then once I have my tape down, I'll peel away that backer. And then I'll bring in one of the pieces, and I'm going to place it down. And the way that I have measured out my liner piece is I want to make sure that a portion of it hits the second board. I don't want it overlapping on the spine because sometimes that can give you a ragged fold when you're trying to close it. So when I'm cutting my liner pieces, I definitely want to make sure that when I place down the second piece, it's going to overlap over here. And I'm using my wider tape here because I ran out of the narrow tape and I didn't want to have to go over and get a new fresh roll, so I'm just going to use my wide tape. But you can use the narrow tape for this part if you don't want to use as much tape as I'm using here. And this cut apart sheet is really beautiful, and I'll show you the name in just a minute as soon as I get this tape down. And then I'm going to bring this back in because I know when I place it down this way, this is going to be folding over here. So what I'm going to do is flip it and add an extra strip of tape right in there to make sure that we have complete coverage. So I am going to bring in my second piece, match it with the first one, and we'll place it down. And so now I'll use my big old spatula to make sure that's stuck, and then also to go in and get those spines nice and defined. And so here we have our sweet little notebook cover. I absolutely love this, and because we are using wallpaper, the outer part of this is completely waterproof, but it is just so durable, and even more so than that, it is absolutely gorgeous. So now we're going to go ahead and make our pocket. So our pocket piece is 9 3/4 by 6, and what we're going to do is we're going to score at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So that's 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch on 3 sides. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fold and burnish, but I'm not going to cut out my corner pieces just yet. So we're just going to go ahead and do a light folding and burnishing. So then I'm going to bring in my chipboard piece that measures 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to place that just like that. So now we have this piece, and we're going to go ahead and cover this in some of our wallpaper. However, I don't want to cover the sides because that makes them hard to glue down when you're trying to glue down the wallpaper to wallpaper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover this inside section. So I need to cut a piece that is 8.5 by 5.5. And I am just going to place that down on my paper. And it won't cover the whole thing. I will have a little bit of my pink border showing, but it's going to give me a very nice finish to this pocket. So now that we have our pocket ready to go, so we're going to have this corner section right there, go up to the second score mark and remove it. Go over to the other side, go up to that second score mark and remove the first 2 pieces. Then go up to the second score mark again to free up your glue tab. Go over to the other side, second mark again to free up that glue tab. And so now I'll bring in my glue. I'm placing glue on these teeny tiny tabs. And I'm just going to join that bottom like that. Get it nice and stuck. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Nice and stuck. And then I can fold these in. I can place my glue on these pieces. And then we can just fold them up to create the little box bottom. Very simple process for getting a little pocket. And so now I'm going to take my pocket and just attach it with glue, but I want to make sure that when I put it down so that the pocket edge is not hitting the spine. So I am going to take my glue and I'm going to place my glue all over this. Now I've found that paper sticks to the wallpaper with glue just fine, but for some reason trying to get the wallpaper to stick to wallpaper with glue isn't so fine. So I am going to take this piece and place it down. I'm going to push in those sides. Make sure I've got everything nice and straight, right where I want it. Remove any of my excess glue. And I'm just going to use my ruler to go in on that side and push in to make it sure I have everything nice and straight. And then I'll just go along this, press down to get it nice and stuck. And so now we have an awesome pocket that will hold an extra notebook. So then I'm going to take my legal pads, and I get these from Target, 3 in a pack. I think they were $1.90, and I haven't been able to find them with the same quality for less. So I am going to take this legal pad. I'm going to move this out of the way for just a minute. And remember when I told you to save that excess wallpaper? This is the reason why, because we're going to use it on this notepad. So I'm going to take it, place it along my black edge here, because I really do want that continuity of cuteness throughout this whole project. Then I can flip it over, and I'm just going to trim and then trim in. So I'm trimming away that excess wallpaper, and then I'm trimming in. So now I can grab this and fold it over. And when you flip it over, you have a cute little topper to this notebook. So we're going to take this notebook and we're going to add it right here. But when we add it, we're going to make it so that this is refillable. So we can take the one that we'll put in as an extra and move it over and refill it. And we're going to do that using the 2 strips that we saved from the beginning when we cut down the inside liner. So I am going to take these 2 strips. I am going to take one and pretty much place it all the way at the top as far as it will go. And then I'm going to fold it over, but I'm leaving just a little bit of slack. I'm not folding it so that it's super tight. I'm leaving slack so that I'll be able to remove that notepad when it's done. Then I'll take my second one and do the same thing, but this time I'm going to bring it closer to the bottom. And the reason why I'm putting this second one here is because it'll help keep my notepad from flopping around. So I'm placing it, but like I said, I'm not placing it so that it's tight. So now that I have these 2 where I want them, I'm going to leave them exactly where they are. Place some glue. And just flip it over and put it into place wherever you want it. So I'm going to move mine towards the top. We're going to get that stuck. And then I can press down. And so I'm going to slide out the notepad so that I can really get these replacement loops nice and smooth. So that's just a quick and easy way. If you want to make your notepads refillable, that's a quick and easy way that you can do it. So now I can take my notepad, slide it through my guides, and now we have a notepad that has a nice stable base to it and is refillable. So now we're going to take a second notepad. I am going to move this out of the way. We are going to take our second notepad and do exactly what we did with that first one. We're going to go ahead and just cover that topper piece, because of course we want everything to be cute. And then I'll trim away. And I'll trim away here. And then we can fold over. Bring this in. And now we can take our notepad, place it in the pocket, and we are good to go. I am going to bring in this beautiful, beautiful cut apart sheet. It's from the Darcel collection, and this page is called The Biggest Step of Your Life. And I am just going to, hopefully you're getting that SKU in case you want to look this up. So I'm going to move my beautiful little notebook out of the way. And I am going to get these two cut aparts right here, because I really do like those sayings. And so now I am going to bring in my mats that are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then the two that are 4 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I am going to take my tape, place my tape on my 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece and lay it down on the 3 1/2 by 4 1/2 inch piece. And I'll do this with both of these. And this is just how I'm dressing mine. You can do yours completely any way that you want. So then I'm going to take my little cut aparts, add some tape to the back. We're going to place those down just like that. And then I'm going to take my last one and we'll do the same thing. And so now it's just going to be a matter of deciding where do you want to place these. So on my first one, I had this mat on the outside. On this one, I think I'm going to put this mat. So this time, I am going to place this down with glue, making sure that I get really good glue coverage in my corners and at the top. And then I'll take this, I'm going to open it to make sure I've got it going in the right direction, because y'all know me. And then we'll place it down just like so. And guys, I wish you could see this in person because I love it. So I'm going to flip this over. We're going to take this one and place it right there. Again, I'm going to make sure that I have good glue coverage in my corners. And now I'll take this piece and we're going to place it right there. Beautiful. I love it. So we're going to give this a chance to dry and then we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, so our decorative pieces are all dried down and I absolutely love how this looks. I think anyone that you made this for would be so pleased to carry this for note-taking purposes. And this would make a fabulous item to sell at a craft fair or in your Etsy store, however you sell what you're making. So I'm going to open it back up so that you can see just how gorgeous this is, and it is refillable. So I am going to bring my first one back in because I want you guys to see all of this gorgeous goodness. And y'all, we are making these. We are not going to the store and buying what they have to sell us. We are deciding what papers we want to use, what size we want it to be. We're doing this, and we are making them exactly as we want them to be. So I hope that you have liked this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my awesome online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.